Now, continuing the subject of reasons for not loading, there is something called the 70-20-10 rule. And what this means is the stowage managers of the steamship lines decide on what units to load and what don't. They decide where to put things onto the boat. Before a boat comes into the port, they figure out where to put what. Now, normally, the following ratio applies. 70% of space allocated beforehand for a boat goes to steady commercial contracts, like General Motors. 20% would be reserved, 20% of the space on a boat normally would be reserved for government contracts, and then the remaining 10% of space available, potentially available on a boat, would go for individual property owners. Then they have something called FIFO, F-I-F-O. Now that means first in, first out. It translates into the units that have been received ahead of your unit normally will load ahead of your unit. First in, first out. Could be invalid documentation. They might need an original copy of the ownership papers and not just copies of the ownership papers. Or there may not be enough extra copies of the ownership papers. They have to have copies of the front and back of a title, for example, not just the front of a title. Or a booking number has become invalid due to the length of time it took for the shipper to deliver the unit to the port of loading. If you wait a long time, that booking number can expire.